Is he on?
Tim's here.
Tim Couch is on. All right, so let's bring Tim on. And Mike McNuggets, you have something that you want to bring him in with.
What's up, Tim?
Yeah, this is within the last 5 minutes. Tim Couch has been nominated for the 2023 College Football Hall of Fame.
Wow. Let's go.
Let's give a round of applause.
Let's go.
Tim Couch, well-deserved. And
attaboy.
If we have any say in the voting, we're going to get every UCSS fan to vote. Tim, you will be a Hall of Famer if we have any help in it.
He's going.
Hey, I appreciate it. I need the help. I think this is about my 7th or 8th year on the finals list and haven't been able to get in yet. All the votes I can get, I really.
Well, where the UK people at? Y'all running droves. Come on with the UK folks.
Tim knows. They're studying about the 8th grade basketball players that Calipari's going to offer scholarships to next week.
Who votes on this, by the way? I don't know.
I think it's writers. Is it writers or fans?
I think it's both.
Yeah, I think there's a mix.
I believe it's both.
Yeah.
Tim, go down and tell Sam Bowie to get on his job.
Man, I'm telling you, Sam, help me out. Rex Chapman, all these guys need to come help me out, man.
Yeah, we need to make a block or charge video and have Rex send it out from your playing days. And then at the bottom of it, he can hashtag, and by the way, vote Tim College Football Hall of Fame.
We're gonna vote him in for all the hits he took here in Cleveland.
I was going to say, there's a lot of charges on that.
I'm like, God bless that
man. Tim, how are you, man? Good to see you again.
I'm good. I'm doing great. It's great to see you guys.
The big Browns conversation earlier was, and I don't know if you followed the comments over the weekend, but Rusty Hardin should probably work pro bono for Deshaun Watson because we're not sure if he's helping his case or hurting his case. Did you hear those comments? Are you comfortable enough commenting on what he said Friday and how he tried to clean it up?
I didn't hear all the comments. Can you catch me up on exactly what he said?
So he basically, correct me if I'm wrong, guys.
Oh, boy.
Good luck, Jim.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Hold on to your seat. He went on a radio station and said, look, happy endings aren't illegal. A lot of guys.
The term happy
and
endings.
he used the term happy endings.
Did he really?
went there.
He said happy endings. Huh?
He used the term happy endings.
Do we want to play the sound?
Yeah,
play
let's play it.
Yeah, listen,
Give
Tim.
us 1 sec, yes.
Okay.
All right,
Stevie,
Tim,
you
listen,
dial it up.
this is Rusty Hardin on Friday on a radio show in Houston.
I don't know how many men are out there now that have had a massage that perhaps occasionally there was a happy ending. All right? Maybe there's nobody in your listening audience that ever happened to.
Can we see Tim?
I do want to point out, if it has happened, it's not a crime, okay? Unless you are paying somebody extra or so to give you some type of sexual activity, it's not a crime. And so at the end of the day, that's another thing that would affect conduct. Doing something or saying something or being a way that makes you uncomfortable is not a crime. And so we've had two
There was more, but what's your general reaction to that?
If that was your attorney.
Yeah, how are you feeling about that right now, Tim?
I think I'm on Google right now searching for a new attorney.
What I said.
Yeah, that's just you just shake your head at that one. I mean, what else can you really say? It's hard to believe what he's saying, and that that's he's representing Deshaun in this case. That's a tough one, man. It's
allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. So, yeah, I think I'd be searching for new representation.
McNuggets, zoom in on me. I'm gonna give you the Chuck Daly sideline face from the Pistons. That's what he would do on listen to this. All
right. We're gonna get a tight shot of Brad here. This is the Chuck Daly reaction to that comment?
Chuck Daly reaction to bad things happening on the sideline.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
He just wants all this to go away. Now, I will say, yes. Tim, he tried to clean it up. Here's how he tried to clean it up. And this, we're presuming, happened after Deshaun called him and said, what in the holy hell did you just say?
Right.
So he released he didn't go on a radio station.
Somebody released it for him.
Somebody released a prearranged statement. It said, Deshaun did not pay anyone for sex. I was using the term hypothetically and not describing Deshaun's case. I've reiterated to others, it's not okay to do anything that a woman does not agree to. That makes it all better, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think that clears it right up, huh?
I don't even know. I mean, what can you say at this point to what? The comments are ridiculous, Tim. But I want, so much of the conversation around this has been what the Browns will do if Deshaun Watson gets suspended, right? So we've had the conversation. Everybody in Cleveland has had the conversation. Should you stick with Baker? But here's another question. We're going to talk a little bit more about this tomorrow, but I'd love your take on this now. there was somebody who covers the Carolina Panthers suggested that, there's right now the Browns and Panthers are debating. They might make a trade for Baker, but the Browns want a higher draft pick, and the Browns want Panthers to cover, a lot of the money. If the Panthers are willing to trade, if the Panthers trade Sam Darnold in the deal for Baker, and because of that the Browns get a higher draft pick back, does that make sense to you? Darnold and Baker make the same amount of money. Would you take Darnold back in a deal if you can get a better draft pick, and then he's your backup for Brissett if it's a long Watson suspension? Does that make some sense?
Yeah, I guess that probably makes sense. Darnold's a guy who's, he's got some talent. He's just been in a bad situation early in his career. But he's certainly a guy who's played well at times. So he's a guy you think you can bring in and develop. He was a high draft pick, and I think that that would certainly be something the Browns would be interested in doing.
Yeah, I think especially if it can help you get a draft pick too, because at this point,
I
just think the idea of keeping Baker, it just seems everybody that covers the team seems to think it's untenable. I don't know who knows. What do you think of? I can't remember if we talked to you about this already. But have you commented on the David Njoku contract already, or did we talk to you about that last week? I can't remember now. I don't think we did. So what did you think about that big extension they signed with David Njoku?
Happy for David. I think I was a little surprised though. That was a lot of money, and paying him like a one of the top tight ends in the league. He's a guy who he certainly looks the part. But at times we've seen him be pretty inconsistent as well. But hopefully this contract motivates him to to work even harder and become the player that we all thought he could be, when he was drafted high coming out of college, coming out of Miami. So, the talent level is certainly there, and he flashes. Those playmaking skill sets come up from time to time. You just want to see him do it more consistently, and hopefully this this contract will motivate him, get him on that path of being a little more consistent.
Tim is so nice. He's one of the nicest people I've ever met.
That was a nice way to put it.
I know you're being
been inconsistent.
I know he's being nice.
Yeah.
But I think I know Tim well enough where when he saw that number, don't let me put words in your mouth, but I'm imagining you had to look to make sure that you read that number right. Because, Jason, I don't know that we talked to you about it, because it happened after you were in last.
Yeah.
What in the hell are they doing?
I was stunned. Yeah, I was stunned by the number just because the production doesn't match the number. He's being paid like a top 5 tight end. He has not produced like a top 5 tight end at this point. Now, you can make excuses about, he's going to have a better quarterback now. That's true. He's the number 1 guy now. That's true. Obviously, Kevin Stefanski likes him. Njoku's wanted out multiple times, and David got him back in the boat. I'm sorry. Kevin got him back in the boat every time.
But why pay him proactively?
Because there's just not many to pick from, Tim. I mean, Tim, you know that as well as anyone.
They had him for this year.
There's just not that many tight ends out there.
They had him on a tag. They had him on a tag. $56 million.
The only thing I could think of is the fact that if he has the type of year, you're banking on him having a big year now, and now you have him locked in on year 2 when Deshaun's number goes higher on the cap. This team is going to start. I know the cap's going up, but this team is going to start feeling some cap crunch here coming up when you're paying your quarterback $45 million.
And you've got one of the highest paid defensive backs in the league, one of the highest paid defensive linemen in the league. They've never had cap issues before, but it's coming.
So when you get cap issues, these are short-term deals. People are going to start moving around here. And let me just say this, Jay. This is not the first time somebody's been overpaid in any sport, right? You just not.
But this one just seems so egregious.
People pay.
His production is middle of the league, middle of the road.
But people pay for what they perceive to be potential.
But we've had 5 years to see what he can do.
But I mean, so what? Here, how many times have we done that here in Cleveland? Overpaid people. Cavs for years ago.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Right, but we shouldn't keep doing it just because.
And the other thing, Tim.
We can go to the East Coast, West Coast. It happens all the time.
Essentially, it looks like this to me. I'm trying to do the gymnastics in my head saying, wait, why would they do this? $28 million's guaranteed. So essentially, if they're not happy after 2 years, and they were going to pay him this year anyhow on the tag.
Right.
So essentially, it's like 2 tag years. And after 2 years, if you haven't done it after 7 years, it's not coming.
It's not coming.
So I imagine they would cut bait, and we shouldn't look at that number as 56. We should look at it as 28.
Right.
One thing I wanted to ask Tim, though, was, Tim, in talking about the cap and the fact that there are going to be a cap crunch coming at some point, they just moved on from J.C. Treader. There's going to be a rookie center this year, and they're paying their guards a ton of money. And that's kind of a luxury to have, really. And you needed it when you had Baker as the quarterback. I don't know necessarily that you need to be paying your guards $30 million when Deshaun is your quarterback. But as a quarterback, this has always fascinated me. obviously you want 5 strong players in front of you. If you have to have a weakness, though, in your offensive line, where's the easiest spot to cover? If you have one hole in front as a quarterback, where do you want that hole to be? Where can you cover it best?
In my opinion, I would say right tackle if you got a right-handed quarterback. Left tackle is a very important position because it's your blind side. You want somebody that you don't even have to worry about over there. You can just trust that you're not going to get hit in the back. Pressure right up the middle is a nightmare for any quarterback because you can't step up in the pocket. So that right tackle position would probably be the one. If I had to pick one where I could say that could be our weakest spot, I would probably take that right tackle because you can see the pressure coming. You can step up. You can get away from it a little easier than you can coming from up the middle or off your blind side.
You didn't have any weak spots on your line when you played.
Tim had 5 Matadors in front of him when he played here.
Ole. Poor thing, man. I don't think I've ever seen an NFL quarterback teed off on like you were.
Shoot, I'm feeling it today, too. My body, man. When I get up in the mornings, it takes me a few minutes to get going.
You got to stretch.
Yeah.
Right, I know.
You wake up
Yeah,
sometimes
for sure.
and think you're just on the ground from being hit in a Browns game. Still feeling that pain.
Oh, man. Sometimes, yeah, I feel it, dude. I wake up. I have dreams sometimes, actually, and I'll jerk in the middle of the night, and it'll wake myself up. And I still dream like I'm playing and somebody's getting ready to hit me, and I'll stiff arm people. I'm jumping out of the way.
That's called PTSD.
PTSD, yeah, I think that's what it is.
And I'm sure you have it.
Tim, listen, we can joke about it now, and good on you for still being involved in Cleveland and coming back, because it could be really, and I'm sure you've gotten this question before, but it could be so easy for you to have bitterness and resentment toward the way you were handled and treated here. Why don't you?
I think that's a good question. That's a question I get asked a lot, because I think when I tell people I'm still a huge Browns fan, they're like, well, why? They didn't treat you great. They kind of ruined your career, but for me, I think you can look at it one or two ways. You can be bitter and you can have all this hate and resentment going on inside of you, but that's a tough way to go about it. For me, I choose to look at it as like this team gave me an opportunity to be an NFL player and live out a dream. They believed in me so much they made me the number 1 pick in the draft and brought me in and gave me an opportunity to be a franchise quarterback in the NFL, which is all I ever wanted was an opportunity. And we had some really good times here. They just were just a lot of ups and downs, and unfortunately had a lot of injuries and couldn't stay healthy. But I really loved my time in Cleveland. I love the organization, and just loved having the opportunity to be a Cleveland Brown.
I told you, he really is one of the nicest people you'll meet.
I got to tell you, man, if I was you, I'd be like, screw them. Yeah. I'm done with Cleveland. I'm never going back.
I think Tim pointed out something there that's one of my favorite sayings in the world is hate corrodes the vessel that carries it. Mm-hmm. And it's only going to tear you apart.
Yeah.
And I've had these conversations with Tim off the air, too, and I can tell you, because Tim, I never told you this, but I had a number of people ask me, is that BS? Is that an act? Tim acting like he's all cool with Cleveland? And I go, no, it's not. It's genuinely who he is. Does he wish his time here would have gone better? Of course he does. Does he feel like maybe he didn't get the most fair shake? Absolutely, and he should. Yeah. But in all of our private conversations, he's always been nothing but, hey, man, they gave me an opportunity. Mm-hmm. They paid me well for my time there. It didn't work out, but I'm not going to look back. I'm only looking forward, and that's why Tim don't know this, but a lot of people don't know this, but Tim's more successful in business after life than he was as an athlete, and this was one of the greatest high school athletes of all time, as voted on by ESPN, for crying out loud. They're not wrong on anything. But I mean, here he is in the afterlife, guys. He's not hunting for nickels. Well, he's doing pretty well.
It really speaks to the testament of his personality and what he's made of, right? Because Tim knows this for a fact. How many people we played with have been stuck in the mud here, still in their feelings from 30 years ago that can't seem to move forward, right? Yeah. And I've been in bad situations, right?
Sure.
And so, but I'm not bitter about them. I keep it moving, right? And so, but some people can't seem to keep it moving. You read about them all the time. I think they had him over 30 for 30, and last day I was like, gee, y'all still mad? That's 35 years ago. And so you have to be able as a player to acknowledge where you're, because here we all were given an opportunity, right? Some people walk into better situations than others, right? And you can sit over there all day like, I wish I was over there. Well, I'm not. I'm over here, right? Yeah. And so you try to figure out a way to make it work. And I think it's just kudos to him to be able to come back and speak to that and still keep intact and understand the perspective of him as being a player and to give him a chance to be a pro, live out his childhood dream.
No question.
So real quick, I think it's a natural bridge to cross, and I'm just a substitute teacher here, so maybe these guys have already asked you this, and if so, I apologize. But I think there are some parallels between you and Baker being the number 1 overall pick, it not going the way that you think. He obviously has a lot of bitterness and how this is ending. What would you tell him in terms of how this is going for him? I think you had it far worse than he did in terms of the talent around him and whatever else. But the ending is going to be the same. It's not going to be the ending you wanted as a number 1 overall pick, and he's going to feel like he got screwed by Cleveland. What would your counsel be to him now and maybe 10 or 20 years from now? Because I don't know that Baker's going to be you. I don't know that we're going to be having a conversation with Baker on this set in 25 years.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. We were in very similar situations coming in as a number 1 overall pick. I came into an expansion team. Baker walked into a team that didn't win a game the previous year. So we walked into a tough situation, and we both were able to take the team to the playoffs. And, Baker won a game in the playoffs. So, and it's the only 2 times the Browns have been in the playoffs in the last 20-some years, since 1999. So, but, overall, when Baker looks back at his career, he's going to feel a lot of bitterness, man. He's going to feel like he was let go way too early. They gave up on him way too early. And I certainly felt that way as well because of, and because of injuries. And he's going to feel that bitterness. And I'm not going to say I didn't feel it either when I was a 25, 26, 27-year-old kid. But, you got to learn to get over it and move past it and just realize, that, hey, that was your opportunity. It didn't work out for a lot of different reasons. And, go on and try to make the best of your career. He's still got a lot of career left. He's a young guy. He's going to land on his feet somewhere when he gets healthy. He's a very talented football player, in my opinion. Just like I said, man, just be thankful for the opportunity because this is the NFL. There's a lot of tremendous players, a lot of great quarterbacks in this league. And anytime you get a shot to be a starting quarterback for an NFL franchise, you got to be appreciative of that opportunity. And, if sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. Just try to make the best of it and move on.
Tim, I just saw news just broke in the last 5 minutes that I know he wasn't your head coach when you were here, but he was the defensive coordinator, I believe, one of the years you were here. Romeo Crennel just announced his retirement from the NFL. I don't know what kind of relationship you had with him the year he was here as the DC, because obviously he's a quarterback, but any thoughts or memories on Romeo?
Yeah, just to remember him as he was a great guy. Everyone on the team loved being around him. He was just like a wealth of knowledge for NFL. He'd been in the league for so long. He could tell you all these different stories, and he had coached so many great players, and he was just a fun guy to be around, and certainly a player's coach, and one that everyone in the locker room, really liked to be around. He had an unbelievable career, and hope he enjoys his retirement.
Yeah. Back to his answer on Baker, because they kind of are. Their careers
very
have been
similar.
Very, very similar. Yeah. I hope, it's my hope, because I don't wish any ill will on Baker Mayfield. I really don't. He gave us some great memories. I hope he usurps some of that maturity that Tim has always had. Tim had it when he was coming into the league as a 22-year-old kid. Yeah. I hope that Baker can, because it seems like he just stiff arms all the good advice. Like he already knows better. He doesn't need, and he could really, I think he could help himself out he's still in the middle of his career.
Yeah.
He can show teams that I'm ready to grow from this and move on. Because if he continues to show that he hasn't grown up, then he's giving teams across the league a reason not to go get him.
Has he ever reached out to you, Tim? Has he reached out to you? Because if I were him, I would have.
Not about this stuff. We've talked several times on different occasions, just small talk, just about just really football stuff, and just when he first got to Cleveland about just handling being a franchise player, being the number 1 pick coming in. We've talked about some stuff like that, but I haven't talked to him at all since all this stuff kind of went down, and they brought Deshaun in. Haven't spoken to Baker, and it's probably been a year or so since we've talked, but we haven't had any discussions about it.
So Jay, you got to understand that Baker is at the proverbial crossroads, right?
Yes.
People want to see growth here in people, right?
As a person.
Yeah, because as a young person, you can be brash and everything you want, but at some point you have to realize that everybody's not feeding you BS here. Here's the story. I got to make a change here. Yeah. And that's what people here are waiting for.
He has to humble himself.
Yes, say, I'm going to make a change. I'm going to get better. Just do that.
And I wonder if that's happening, guys, because he did the one podcast, and it wasn't as bad as I thought. He didn't crush the Browns as bad as I thought that he could, which, deservedly or not, it's not going to do him any favors. But the fact that he's kept quiet this long, I wonder if there is some maturity and some growing up in the offseason.
Jason, it would be much better. I tell you, you want to make a statement, you walk into the OTA. Do that, right? Do that. Do something they don't expect you to do, right? Not do that, right?
Would they welcome him?
They don't want him there. They don't want him there.
It's not about what they want. It's about him. It's about him showing that he has grown, right? Walk into the OTA, absorb the heat, because people say, you showed up here, what are you doing here, right? Go through your reps, right? It's only a matter of days.
That's humbling yourself.
That's humbling yourself.
Yeah, that is.
That's what people want to see.
What's going to happen with training camp, Jay? Do you think he's going to show up?
No, I think he'll be excused. No. Baker, I would be stunned if he's ever back in Berea.
If he wanted to, he could.
If he wanted to, he
Per
could.
the CBA, he's
under contract.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But I don't see that happening.
Yeah,
I think,
interesting. Hey, Tim, I know you wanted to talk about Jacoby Brissett. He might be the low-key most important player on this Browns roster coming into the season because we don't know. And I think there's every anticipation that there will be some kind of suspension, and I think there's most expected that would happen before the season begins. That puts an incredible amount of pressure on a guy that once upon a time had a pretty good season with the Colts. If he has to guide this ship for a number of games, 6, where are the Browns, and what are your thoughts on Jacoby?
I like Jacoby as a player myself. I think he's had a couple good years in Indianapolis. He's put up some good numbers. He's shown he can win football games for you. And, I think this is the exact reason why he was brought in here. Of course, the Browns were anticipating Deshaun being suspended for a little bit and possibly being out, or if he gets an injury when he's healthy, if he's in there, or when he's allowed to play, if he gets an injury, Jacoby can come in and play. And he's shown he can do that. Obviously he's not, he can be your long-term answer, but I think he's a guy that can fill in and be a really serviceable backup guy. He can come in and complete passes. He can be accurate with the football. He can put points on the board. And, I think he's a guy that, can hold it down until Deshaun comes back.
Hey, Tim, let me ask you a question. I just thought about this while I'm sitting here thinking. What would Baker walk into training camp, what kind of pressure would that put the Browns under to make a move? What would that do?
I think it would be a lot. I think it would, it'd be a media circus, first of all. I think they would have to deal with all that, which I don't think they would really want to deal with, just having that around the organization, especially with everything they're dealing with already with what Deshaun's going through, for Baker to show up and to get him more media attention on that. I don't think they would probably welcome that. But, if I'm Baker, I'm going to show up. I'm going to make him make a decision.
Wouldn't that force that?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think, if you're under contract and you're allowed to be there, you'll show up, get your reps in. I think, you can work out at home and you can do all the training with quarterback coaches you want, but it doesn't simulate what you can get out of being at practice and going against live defense and live coverages and rushes and all those kind of things. So I would show up and get my reps in if I were Baker and just see what happens.
That would be one of the most Browns things of the year.
Yeah.
If Baker showed up.
Just trade him.
Figure it out. What a nightmare.
Baker showed up and started talking?
Just trade him.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
All right, let's. Hey, listen, a couple of weeks ago, Mike Polk played a game with us on the show, and I don't think we've laughed so hard on this set.
Yeah.
The game was former Browns quarterback or stock mechanic photo. And so we're going to show you. Now, he gave us 19. And we looked at them and we had to decide, was this a quarterback or was this a mechanic? So we're going to play that game with you. I promise.
Jason and Brad are going to play also because they haven't played. You and I have played.
But here's the thing. I want Tim to give his guess first.
Yes.
Being a former Browns quarterback, I think, guys, it could happen where he goes like 2-3, 0-5. Because some of these, I got to tell you, some of these were really tough. All right, McNuggets, take it away. Let him see the first one and he can make his guess.
I am so excited for this. This has been building up for 10 days. So, Steve, let's get the music rocking. And here's your first one, Tim. Is this a post-1999 Browns quarterback?
It's hard, isn't it?
Stock photo auto mechanic.
Oh, man. Dude, this is harder than I thought. I thought this would be really easy for me, but that's throwing me off. I'm going to go with stock photo auto mechanic.
All right, guys. What about you guys?
Yeah, what do you say?
That looks a tinge like Jake Delhomme. I'm going to go Browns quarterback.
Okay.
I don't know who the hell it is.
I don't know who
You
the hell
got to
it
make
is
a
either.
guess, though. You got to make a guess.
Browns quarterback.
You going Browns quarterback.
See the
Okay.
reveal, Steve? It's a stock.
Yeah. right, 1 for 1. There we go.
So he's out to the 1-0 lead.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Good. It did look a little like Delhomme.
Delhomme was in this. Delhomme is not part of this. So let's go to the
Okay.
second one, Steve. Let's get the next picture. Is this a post-1999 Browns quarterback or a stock photo of an auto mechanic?
He's got the quarterback hair and beard, doesn't he?
Yeah.
It definitely looks like a quarterback, but I don't know who that is, so I'm going to go with auto mechanic.
Jason?
Looks a little like Jake Delhomme, so I'm gonna.
That's the bull strategy.
So let's go Browns
I
quarterback.
would say Browns quarterback. He's smiling too good.
Okay, here we
He's
go.
smiling too good.
And the reveal?
Auto mechanic, yes.
Tim is taking a commanding lead.
Tim, you're off and running, brother.
This is devastating.
I know.
I can never show my.
I mean, you know what it says is that you don't know? It's,
In my defense, I was covering the NBA for half of this time.
No doubt.
no
No
defense.
excuses. Nothing. All right, Jason. Steve, number 3. Is this a 1999 Browns quarterback or a stock photo auto mechanic?
That is Charlie Fry. So that's the Browns quarterback.
He looks a little like Jake Delhomme, so I'm going to go Browns quarterback.
I'm following Tim. That's a Browns
Tim's not very
quarterback.
confident.
Yeah.
That's a confident answer. It's also the correct answer. That is Charlie Fry.
Yes.
when Tim's throwing out the name, you got to follow
You got to
his
follow
lead.
it.
You
Yep.
absolutely have to. By the way, Tim, we were going to play this game with the Patriots, but there were only 4 pictures, so we're like, that's no fun. You know,
Yeah,
you got
that's
Tom
no-
Brady and then a
yeah.
couple of other guys in there, Castle, and so it wasn't
Yeah.
any good. It works with the Browns well. Number 4.
Let's see the picture. Is this a post-1999 Browns quarterback or is this a stock photo of an auto mechanic?
I don't remember this either.
Ooh, that's another auto mechanic.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. That's an auto mechanic.
Browns quarterback.
Oh.
2 versus 1. Steve, let's see it.
Tim, you're 4 for 4. I love it.
That's incredible.
This last one was the one that none of us got, or the lowest percentage of us getting right. Is this a stock photo auto mechanic or is this a post-1999 Browns quarterback?
That is another auto mechanic.
I don't know. Those look like soulless eyes. That looks like a Browns quarterback to me. Someone's had the soul beat out of him.
I'm going to go back with the same route. Browns quarterback.
I think that is a quarterback, right?
Steve?
Yeah.
That's Austin Davis.
Yes!
Oh, wow.
I finally did.
We finally got one on Tim.
Got one wrong. I mean, what did he start? 1 game for the Browns?
2 games.
2?
So
Two
you still
games?
won,
Yeah, I
though.
don't remember him.
Tim, you got 4 out of 5.
Not bad.
Good
Not bad.
effort, Jason. You got 3 out of
3?
5.
All right.
Brad, you got to work on your former Browns quarterback knowledge.
Too much time in the mechanic shop. That's all. Mechanics to me, buddy. Browns quarterback mechanic. The same
good.
thing.
Tim, well done though, brother. Well done.
I mean,
That was
Austin
fun.
Davis
Yeah, I
is
enjoyed that.
Austin Davis is so obscure we couldn't even get a picture of him in a Browns jersey.
No, yeah, no photos.
Yeah,
Did not
college
exist.
uniform,
Yeah.
That's fun.
Well, I think we didn't play this game with Joe Thomas, but Joe Thomas told the story about the game in Pittsburgh one year when a third-string quarterback came in and he actually had to introduce himself to the quarterback. Hi, I'm your left tackle. I'm Joe Thomas. He didn't know who the guy was.
Like, who are you?
Didn't know who he was. He didn't take a single rep with him all week.
Man, that's tough. That was like my second year in the NFL when I broke my thumb after like week 5 or 6, and we went through like maybe 5 or 6 starters that year. We had like Doug Peterson, Detmer, I think, Spurgeon Wynn. We were down to like bringing guys in off the street by the end of the season, man. It was crazy.
Who about the stands?
Wow.
That about sums up the Browns for most of the
Yeah,
last
that really
20-something
does.
years.
Thanks for that depressing memory.
Yeah,
I had bulk erased that entire season from my mind.
yeah, for sure.
Oh, my God.
All right, so Tim, before we let you go, let us in on a day in the life of Tim Couch. You got the golf shirt on there. You're probably going to kick it for 18, I'm guessing. I know you're going to get a workout in. Like, what is the average day in the life of Tim Couch?
So normally it's a wake up, workout, do whatever my kids are doing, get them to school, do whatever. During the summer right now, my kids are they're in football practice and camps and stuff, so I'm getting them to wherever they need to be, and then I'm heading right to the golf course after this show. So I'm trying to play. I get about 4 or 5 rounds a weekend right now. So yeah, playing a lot of golf, and then mix in some business stuff here and there. My business stuff that I'm involved in, I'm mostly just an investor, so it doesn't require my time day to day. So I'm just, able to travel a lot and spend a lot of time with my kids and be out on the golf course as much
You're
as I
living
can.
your best life, man, and you deserve it.
Yeah.
How's your game these days? Where are you? Are you single-digit handicap?
I'm getting close. I'm a 10 right now.
I love
but
it.
I'm working. I'm trending down towards hopefully get to about an 8 or a 9 this summer, and just trying to. I play with some really good players and just trying to keep up with them, man.
Tim, did you actively want your kids to play football, or did you just kind of leave it be and they chose it?
Yeah, I just kind of left it up to them, and they chose it. My oldest son, he's going to be a junior this coming season. He was playing quarterback up until about his 7th grade year, and he came to me one day and he's like, "Dad, I just feel too much pressure, to play quarterback, with this last name in the state of Kentucky." And it's just everyone was just looking at him too hard. So I said, "Listen, man, I don't care if you play quarterback or not. Do whatever you want. Play wherever you want." So he plays defensive end now. And he just got his first scholarship offer last week from Eastern Kentucky University.
Nice.
Kentucky's competing in now. And,
and that won't be his last.
It won't be his last. So he's a big kid. He's just kind of getting started. He's already 6'5", about 240 as a 16-year-old.
Wow.
Yeah,
So,
oddly
he's
enough,
be the big boy. The Browns are looking at Tim as a defensive end to bring him back, because he was out when he and I were doing the Browns preseason games together, and Tim was out at practice, and the players. A lot of the players would stop and they'd be like, "Geez, what in the world are you doing, Tim? You look like a linebacker these days."
Yeah, it's called too much time on my hands. I got too much time to sit and work out all damn day.
Oh man, hey, good for you though. Good for you. Now you have 2 boys, right?
Yeah, I've got 2 boys. My youngest is going to be a 7th grader.
Okay, now is football their primary sport? Do they do it all? Because did you win Mr. Basketball in Kentucky or no? Because you should have if you didn't.
Yeah.
I thought you did.
My junior year, I was averaging 37 points a game.
Ooh, so, wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Remember I told you the story? I told you they could play. I told you got someone that could play.
So have they kind of fallen into football as being their primary sport, or do they like basketball too?
My oldest son just plays football. He was playing football and lacrosse, but he's just focusing on football now. My youngest son plays football, basketball, and baseball. He really loves golf. He'll play anything moving, man. He's just an athletic kid and just wants to be involved in whatever sport is going on at that time. He wants to be involved in it. So he's just happy they're into sports and doing it on their own. It's nothing forced or not me telling them they got to go out and work. They just really enjoy the game and enjoy practice and enjoy working at it. And I'm really proud of the development they've made over the last few years.
Well, that's a good thing, and continued success to them, and congrats to your boy. I know that first one's always a big deal because you can sort of say, okay, now the floodgates open. McNuggets has a question for you, Tim, before we let you go.
Sure.
Yeah, Tim, in our next segment, we're going to talk about the biggest one-hit wonders in Cleveland sports history, but I want from your opinion. I asked you this before the show, but who do you think is the biggest one-hit wonder in Cleveland sports history?
Kelly Holcomb?
I would have to. Well, I would say that, but he's my friend, so he would fuck me right after if I said that and be like, "What the hell are you doing, man?" So I'm going to go with I'll go with Peyton Hillis. Would be my,
that's a really good one.
He was on the cover of Madden. He rushed for over 1,100 yards one year. He was kind of the biggest thing in football there for one season. Then he kind of just disappeared. But he had a heck of a year.
Yeah, he really did. I remember. Before he got the cover of Madden, I can't remember who he was a finalist with. It may have been OBJ.
No, it was before OBJ. I think it was Mike Vick, wasn't it?
It might have been Mike Vick, but both of the
Vick,
finalists came into ESPN to do the car wash and do all the different shows. And I remember the producer of our show said to me, knowing I'm a Browns fan, he's like, "How the hell is this guy a finalist to be on Madden?" And I said, he's coming off a great year. Like, I can't imagine he's going to win. Well, he was he was fun. He was a fun interview. But, he was. And after that, it was the Madden curse for real. I mean, he definitely didn't have a year that ever approached that. Tim, hit him straight. Enjoy your day. Live the life we all want to live and wish we could. Because I know you do. The great Tim Couch on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Tim, thank you, my friend. Always good to have you on, buddy. Always good to have you on. And by the way, I don't think it could happen to a nicer guy.
No.
He really
He's
does.
earned it.
He's got a wonderful life.
He paid his dues here.
Yeah, he did. He paid his dues.
And what a great attitude to have after everything that he went through here.
Right.
To still be – and I'm serious. I think he should really – Baker's probably not ready. But I still think Baker should have some sort of relationship with this city. It's going to take time. It's clearly going to take time.
Tim Cowell's an example of the ambassadors that are in sports that the leagues really should be leaning on with these young players coming in to understand what it really is all about, right?
Yeah.